Well folks, here we are in part 7 of the 4-wheel drive Gravely tractor build. As you can see, it's come a long way since the last video. I got the steering column on and everything. That's all bolted up and finished. I finished the high-low and forward reverse shifters on the back transmission yesterday, high-low Swift-O-Matic. So I just used regular L shifters, real simple design. Got high range, low range. The forward and reverse shifter is exactly like the one on the other 2 4-wheel drives that I built. The front, Dad finished up the hydraulic pump. Got a stiffener on there so it keeps tension on the belt, keeps this thing from wobbling. You also got the battery tray done, which we're going to have to make some brackets that go down to the brush guard, which we will be putting on the front just to protect the oil pan and everything. I started working on the forward reverse lever yesterday, so I'm having a heck of a time placing this, trying to get it in the right spot, because these have to over center on themselves to lock in, but I'll get that. It's just a matter of moving it up and down to get the right spot. And today I'll probably be doing the high-low shift lever along with the PTO shift lever and the one for the Swift-O-Matic. So I'll probably be mounting those right up in this area so they're easy access. You can reach down and grab them. And some of you guys are asking about fenders and hood. This thing will be getting fenders. I probably won't be doing them until after the show, because they're going to have to get custom made, probably like the ones on the off-road tractor, similar to that kind of sweep down over the wheels. And as for a hood, once again, always using the wheel horse parts. I have a wheel horse hood, probably from the 70s, I think. This is the 70s C-Series hood. So I'll be putting this on, and it fits really nice, covers everything up, and that'll be sitting kind of low, so it'll probably only be up to about here on the tractor, just enough to clear the battery, and then it'll have to make a mount over here for it to set on. But that's what's going on for today, trying to get some more shift work done, because that's the main priority now. The hydraulics should be coming in on Monday of this coming week, so that way we can get started on those. But today, keep going and keep you guys updated. Right now I'm working on the Swift-O-Matic shifter rod and lever, so for this, and I'm going to be doing relatively the same thing I did in the back with the same setup like that, only instead of going off of the advanced casting here, I'm going to be going off of the advanced casting swivel plate, because it's going to put it up a little bit farther and I won't have to reach back as far. So I made a bracket for it, as you can see, just a really quick Z-bend. And then that'll be going like that, and that'll get welded onto the plate on the yellow mark. And then our lever is going to sit on it like that for the most part. And I'll have a hole, and I'll cut this off. And then I'm just going to end up making another rod that goes from here to there, obviously enough, and then that'll have our shifter really placed right around in this area. So it'll give it enough room to move without hitting the steering column or anything when the tractor turns, and that should work out pretty good right in that location. So I finished up the linkages for the Swift-O-Matic on the front transmission. This one was a really easy one to do because I was able to keep it straight and then just adjust this to keep everything in line. So I welded that right up to the plate. So now we have high range and low range. So put the tractor in high range, both of them are to the inside. You put the tractor in low range, they both go to the outside. So worked out pretty well. Now I'm going to be working on the forward reverse shifter, and this I had to do a little bit of thinking to get it right. We were having trouble finding the pivot point for this arm here, because the original one here that they originally used on the 400 series for your forward reverse got mounted like this on the tractor, but both pivot points are on one pin, unlike the high-low shifter where they're on 2 separate pins. And I was having trouble with them over camming, because when these lock in, they have to be just a little bit over center this way, or else they'll pop out of gear like that. And I was having a tough time keeping it in, but because these ones are spread farther apart, it was easier to do that with, because they're higher up and higher down, whether that makes any sense or not. But it did work out. So I still have to cut down this bushing here, because I took the needle bearings out of this, and I'll probably put a grease fitting on it at some point. So I got to cut that bushing down. I have to bush this and get the washer and the nut on it, and then I'm just going to have to make a shift lever, which for that, probably going to be using some 1/2 inch or 3/4 inch round stock. Come up about 18 inches, and it'll be about here with the steering column, because it's very easy to shift when you got a long bar on it. So, and it's just a matter of attaching it to this. So for our forward reverse lever, I came up with this bracket here, just a piece of 1.5 inch by 1/4 inch flat stock, and I got it bolted through this hole. And then what I did is I mounted it, heated it, and bent it, and I drilled and tapped a 1/4-20 bolt right here just to keep it from moving like this. And I have a 1/2 inch rod that's threaded on one end, so I was able to get a shifter knob, and I'm going to cut that down right there. And you can see this line I have on the bracket. I'll cut that off with a cutoff wheel, and then that will get welded on just like that. So our shifter will be about like that, if you can see that well. So you'll have reverse is down about there, and forward will be almost straight up. The forward reverse shift rod is all done. I got the lever on there. Everything's been welded up on the bracket, and it worked out pretty nice. We got forward and reverse, real simple. And when this steers, it has plenty of room to go past the steering column. It just misses it, so no problems there. And the next one I'm going to be working on is going to be our high-low shifter, and that's not brought far backwards as this one is. It's a little more forwards, so I'm going to be using the same arm, obviously enough. But for the shifter, I'll probably be doing something along the lines of this, just to move it back a little bit, and then it'll move something about like that. I just got to make a bracket similar to this one pretty much to go and wrap around this piece here. So after that, it'll be the PTO shifter in the front, and then all the shift rods will be done, and then it'll be well on its way to getting all the hydraulics for the steering. So anyways, there you have it. That's all for part 6.